Hello folks. Well, this time we'll talk about command line arguments in Bash. So if you're running commands from the command line, so you're typing in something like ls-l foo, right? The -l and the foo that you're typing on the command line are being passed as arguments, or effectively parameters, to the program that you're running. So we want to be able to do this with Bash scripts, and fortunately that's pretty straightforward. So the idea is, whatever we type on the command line, we want sent to the script. The way we'll capture it is in a specially named array. So within the script, the $@ refers to the array of whatever command line arguments were passed. It might consist solely of the name of the script if that's all that the user typed in. If they just type in ls and hit enter, then the ls program is just getting its name as the one argument. So they're actually stored in variables $1, $2, $3, etc., just like with the parameters we saw for functions. And the $0 gives us the name of the script. Right? When we were looking at function parameters, it gave us the name of the function. So here it's the same concept, just giving us the name of the script. And again, the $# gives us the number of parameters that were passed, not counting the actual name of the script. So we can go through and play with the command line arguments inside the script. Right? If you want to go through and iterate through them, same basic idea, just a for loop within, and say, for argument in $@, print it out. Right? It gives you a nice easy way to cycle through them. Another way we can get at them is through the shift command. So shift basically lets us pull out and discard the front n elements of whatever was passed on the command line, not including the name of the script. So if I say just shift, then it basically takes the first argument and throws it away. If I say shift again, it takes the second argument and throws it away. If I say shift 2, it takes the next two arguments and throws them away. So what we can do if we want to cycle through all of the arguments without bothering to look up how many there were first, you can use something like this. We'll say, while the number of arguments remaining to be processed is greater than 0, we'll do whatever we want with the current argument, the front argument, so we'll just print it out for now, and then do a shift, or a shift 1. And that will go through and effectively discard the element that we just looked at, kind of like a way of popping off the arguments at the front, or dequeuing the arguments at the front. And so again, this is one technique that you'll see used fairly often for just working your way through the list of arguments one at a time. Now, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that when you're running the script, if you type in, something like /myscript and then a bunch of things, as far as Bash is concerned, each of those words on the line, whether it's an integer or a number or whatever, is a separate argument. So it will go through and pass, 1 is the first, 2 is the second, foo is the third, blah is the fourth. If you want to have a couple of these things grouped together as a single argument, so you want to be able to pass a string that's got spaces in it, do remember to throw the double quotes around it. So if I say something like, my script, and then in quotes arg1 or arg and 1, that will go into a single argument in the script. Usual idea with single quotes and double quotes, if you've got special characters that you want to pass as part of an argument, so an asterisk or things like that, and you don't want Bash to go through and try and interpret those before it gets to the script, do make sure you use single quotes. So there are a couple of cases that you have to watch out for when you're passing arguments from the command line, but most of it should be pretty straightforward. All right, we'll just take a quick look at that in practice and see how we go here. So what did I call this? args.sh? Sounds likely. Yeah, so here we've got a simple script, right? The usual hash bang bin bash, and I'll create one variable to hold the command line arguments. So I'm just going to copy $@ into argv. I'm going to look up the number of arguments there were. So I'm going to look up $hash and stick them in argc. And I'm just using this because I'm used to the names argv and argc from other languages. And I'm going to look up the name of the program from $0. So you can go through and quite happily look up the different pieces of your command line arguments. Then I'm going to go through each of them in sequence, once with a loop and then once using shift. So the first time using the loop, right, just for arg in $at, I'll go through and print them out. Or if I want to use shift, again, this is pretty much just the example we tried a moment ago, where or we looked at a moment ago, where we're just going to print out an argument and shift it, and we're just going to keep going until there are no more arguments. So if we were to try running this, so /args.sh, we'll do it with no arguments first. All right, so you called it, you passed 0 arguments, and iterates through nothing. Or if we want to try hello, right, so it just passes 1. Or if I want to try hello, foo star, oops, let's say foo, let's say star.sh. So I'm throwing this in single quotes so that bash doesn't try and interpret that star.sh. Right, so I called it on hello and star.sh. If we try that again, but we'll use double quote, why not? We'll use double quotes this time. See where we go. Okay, so it did actually still manage to not interpret those. It's if I leave off the star.sh, bash is going to interpret those. Okay, we're in good shape. So in this case, you can see that bash actually interpreted the star as meaning, look up all the file names that end in .sh first, and then pass all of that to the script that's being called. So you do have to be a little careful with passing your command line arguments, but other than that, hopefully life is pretty straightforward. All right, so you can now go ahead and use these and start writing scripts where you can, where the script can react to data that the user passes on the command line when they invoke the script. All right, I think that should do us for this one.